Hello everyone, it's Peter Drew, and we have another lesson. Okay, like I said, it's precision and it deals with so many things, precise things. Today we're going to do. Oh, let me put something up front to let you know how things are working. Precision two. I decided because it's getting. I don't want to do precision one, precision two, precision three. What I'm going to do is precision two. This is all on the same level. So you see there's two precision, there's precision two and there's precision two. You pretty much have to look at the dates if you're kind of mixed up on which one to take. But you could take pretty much any one, but if you want to see how they go in session, go by the dates. So this is going to be precision two, reading, writing, and understanding, reading, writing, and understanding, and then math. I want to put math in it too. Reading, writing, and mathematics. Not mathematics. Reading, writing, and math. Okay. And I want to put understanding in there, but maybe I don't have to put it. So it's going to be precision two, reading, writing, math, and then I'm going to put without letters or words. Okay. Without letters, numbers, or words. Okay? I mean, not going to say words. Without letters or numbers. Okay? So it's precision two without precision two, reading, writing, and math without letters and numbers. So, like I said, this is going to be precision two also, but you have to look at the topics. It's all right to take them out of session, even precision one. Okay, so precision one, precision two are pretty much all on the same level. When it goes to the next level, you'll know it, or then I'll figure out something else to do. But right now, it's going to be precision two, and this is going to be precision two also. And like I said, a lot of times you need to look at the dates if you need to do something in session because it's kind of confusing. Because especially the expert ones, I had to do those in session and had to have be numbered definitely. Um, so if you get kind of confused on those, I would go by the dates or the time when I did it. Thanks to YouTube for that. So now we're doing very good. Like I said, it's very concentrate this lesson, especially in two, in precision two. We're going to do, like I said, reading, writing. I want to put in understanding, and math, or you can say mathematics, without numbers or numbers, symbols, or letters. Okay. So let's jump into it and see how things go. Okay. And we're going to work off of the things that we've already done. So this one is not going to have, it's not going to further the Michael Jackson Thriller dance. Okay. Okay. So anyway, so there's some things that you have to know. I mean, some things that you have to understand. Okay. You can see me and everything that I do, okay? But when it gets into, because we're so intricate about things that are happening, okay? Remember with the tennis ball, okay? It was so intricate and it happened so internally that I had to explain what happened. So even no matter what, we're going to need the language without seeing what's going on. And I have to stress that the tapes before this, especially the the precision before this, you have to really listen. You have to really um, look at that also. Although this is the same level, it is very wise to get the precision before this one. And another thing too, I want to talk about precision before this one. Okay, Okay, so maybe that point would get good to me. But anyway, so now we're gonna start. Cause what I wanted to say is that we talked about the distance and we talked about the, I'm gonna use all the things that we've already, the vocabulary that we've already gotten used to. Oh, the point that I wanted to say is you can follow along with this. And don't worry if you can't do it and you're in beginner or whatever, because subconsciously you're going to understand things that's going to help you in lifting you up as you continue. Like if you start, you look at this video and you like this video and you say, well, I want to start the program. Start at the beginning and it's going to help you because it's in your mind, okay? When you can bring up something, that means that you can, it's actually it's already there, okay? So it'll help you in so many different ways just by understanding or going through the video. Even if you don't understand, even if you can't comprehend it, if you find something interesting in it, it's going to help you reach up to your levels, maybe faster, maybe stronger, or whatever. And your premonitions. Your premonitions, like I said, we have a different term for premonitions. It's going to help you in your premonitions. You can say, "Oh yeah, I remember when he did that." So I am going in the right direction. So we're going to start off writing, reading, mathematics, okay? And I wanted to put understanding. So maybe I might put understanding, writing, reading, or something like that. It's going to be in the title, okay? So we're going to start from the beginning of this. Remember, like I said, we had to do things that I've already went over. I don't have to define anything, okay? Because it's all in the former videos. Now we're going to start with this one. Remember when we did this, okay? As far as Michael Jackson, I explained why we use Michael Jackson and everything, okay? And we have this. We start off. Okay, I'm going to do it again. I remember when I look at the tape sometime, I always see myself closing my eyes. I'm not supposed to do that, but anyway, I do it. Now I'm becoming more aware of not closing my eyes when I do the dance, okay? Okay. Now that's just one of the things. The first thing I want to do, and remember, I'm going to say, as far as the reading and the understanding and the writing and the math, it's all mixed in. So I'm going to show you some parts of that's mathematics, okay? And another thing too, remember there's no symbols or anything. So I just did steps. I would never say in Dance Without Music, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? It's nothing like that. You have to remember or visualize what you've done. So that's the mathematics, okay? So you don't see, you don't count anything. You just have to understand that it's done or see it or remember it. There's another term for that, but I think we have to make a term for that. But let's just do it again. Okay, now we did that. Now that's the mathematics. It's got something that I'm going to tell you now. It's going to help you to visualize what's happening. It's more like if someone puts you in a empty apartment building, okay, and they say go to the kitchen, and they tell you where everything is, and they say go to the kitchen, then go to the bedroom, and then go to the bathroom, okay. You can do all those things without memorizing it. It's just happening. It's just because you experienced it. Now, the way we're going to do it, is going to help you to experience those steps. I can say 4, but this is the last time. If I use numbers, I'm using it to help to bring you up, to wing you off the numbers, okay? But I'm serious about not using numbers, okay? So now, we're in, this is, and the reading and writing and understanding is in this right now. I'm in the between quadrant. Okay, I'm starting off in the between quadrant. There's an audience because this is a dance. There's an audience, which means that I would do something like this, or I would do something like this. But I'm most likely I'm not going to do something like this because it's not going to show this. Okay, in certain circumstances, maybe you do this, but you do this and this over this and this, okay? Because you have the audience, you keep the audience in mind, and that's in the first videos. So you keep in your mind that there's an audience, okay? That's a written thing, okay? I told you that, and that's something written, okay? What I mean is, if I was writing a paper and I was teaching you something, I say audience mean, okay, I would say audience means your your understanding that there's an audience in front of you, okay? So that's part of the reading, writing, and understanding. So when I say audience, that means you know where the audience is. It's in the front. Most of the time, unless that's just, it's in the front for now, okay? Always in the front for now at this level. Okay, so you have audience, so that means I have to be in a position to where people are looking at me, okay? So that's audience. And if we get to the point to where this is just said or written, I would say audience, and you know what that means, okay? Just like if you're writing a script. Okay, so audience. Now I'm in between. And this first lesson is going to be more like I'm explaining what I'm doing, but as you see, I'm going to take the explanations out and just give commands, or just give written things about what I'm doing. And when I say written, it is like writing, because you're writing it in your mind, okay? If you can understand that, okay? So if I say later on in some of the videos, if I say writing, if I say audience, you know that that's a term and you know what it means. Just like when you read music and it says soft or it says gentle, okay? It's something like that. We're going to get to dance to where it can actually be, dance will actually be copyright written. You can actually copyright dance, okay? The guy who helped Michael Jackson with this dance, I'm almost sure he can't copyright, or he doesn't get any money from anything like that. I'm almost sure, maybe, but maybe not. This way, it can be copyrighted. So we have audience. We're in, and like I said, it's going to be like explanations now, and then the explanations is going to be turned into the language, writing and reading, okay? And when I say writing and reading, you're the instrument that writes. That's what I mean. And then reading is like you're going to be able to see what I do by looking at me, okay? So you're not going to just use your eyes, you have to use your eyes along with your interpretations in your mind. So we have audience, that means, I'm ready for the audience. And now, in between, that means I'm in between. I'm in between quadrant with my weight on both. The weight is not moving. The weight is not going to do anything. Like I said, it's a force. You have a force that's not going to move. What it's doing now to you is causing pressure, just like if I did that, okay? So you have a automatic pressure, and it's going that way. It's going that way. That's where the pressure is going, okay? And there's nothing you can do because it's the weight. And you can't even move to the next step, okay? Then the next thing that's gonna occur, and remember, we don't use feet or legs or anything like that because we have to stay in the realm. This is in a realm, okay? Um, we're going to say other. Now, another thing too, I don't have to say, if I don't say it's in a quadrant, when I say other, it means this, okay? And remember, this thing switches around. I don't like to say it, but I want to tell you, this is my right side and this is my left side. We never talk about it. But even though this is the right side, even though this is the left side, this is the right quadrant. And this is the left, and this is the other quadrant. This is also be used as a natural quadrant. And because I use two terms, that means that you can pretty much generalize another term for it when you're talking real quick. Not the other quadrant, the right quadrant or the natural quadrant, you know what I mean? And then this is the other quadrant, okay? So, audience, between or in between quadrant, then I'm going to do an other distance, okay? An other distance, which comes from the other quadrant, okay? So that means as soon as I say other distance, okay, and all of this is in one distance, all of this is in one distance. So I'm in between, okay, or the between quadrant. That means I have to take the weight that's on the other, because it's in the between, and I want to go to the right quadrant or the natural quadrant, okay? And that's what I did. But in order for me to do that, I had to use hydrogen X, okay? I studied chemistry, and it's the closest thing. That's why I say hydrogen X. I know it sounds weird, but it's true. I mean, it's just true because I can see it. You can't see it. I don't really see it. I know what it does. I can feel what it does. Okay. So like right now, I'm going to go into and that's a command. Like I said, I'm going to explain now, and then explanations is going to turn into commands or writing for this. Um, I'm taking hydrogen X because I'm not moving. I can't do any. I can't even command the weight. I can't command the weight to do anything. I can manipulate it, but I can't command the weight to do anything. But I can use hydrogen X. It is something that comes right from the brain. It's like an explosion. It's uncontrollable. But as soon as I release it, I control it. Okay. Maybe the reason why it's uncontrollable because when you let it go, you can actually, like I could say, I want to move my leg, and because if I don't want to do it in a split second, I could use it for something else. Maybe that's why it's uncontrollable. So I'm going to use hydrogen X to go into the natural quadrant. Okay? All of that for that one little movement. Now you understand when people lose their walking and they lose the understanding of walking, and they can't, it's a lot of work. I mean, a lot of work. And you just did it just like that. So thank God that you can do that. I always thank God that I can do things. Okay, I've always wondered why I can do things. So that's why you got this YouTube, Dance Without Music. So now I'm in the right quadrant, and the right, or the right as in correct. It could be called the correct quadrant, and I already told you that. So another thing too is that's another reason why we need this language, because I have to explain it to you. If I went like this right now, you're not trained to see that, but now you can probably get a glimpse of it. Then I'm going to do a distance, and we all have this vocabulary now. Now I'm going to do the distance. When I say distance, I don't have to say other, because when you're in a quadrant, when you're in a quadrant, you have to, in order to make a distance on the bottom, you have to move the only one that's free. But I think I should say it, so I'm going to say it. So I'm going to say other, okay, other distance. So when I say other distance, that means I need the hydrogen X. I'm going to use the hydrogen X to make a distance. Okay, not a step, but to make a distance. Okay. Okay. So, okay, now another thing too is, okay, we're gonna have to put the different mathematics, but now we're just gonna, there's something I have to add, but we're gonna just do the steps like this first. Okay. Then I'm going to go into, I'm going to use hydrogen X to go into, because this is not going to do anything. If I stay like this, the only thing that's going to happen is I'm just going to get tired and just like, you know, like that, or something like that, or it's going to get wobbly or something, but it's not going to do anything unless I command it, okay? So now I'm going to use hydrogen X to go into the other quadrant. Okay. And then, okay, I can't say that either. We're just going to get through this one, the hydrogen X one. Okay. So then I'm going, now that I'm in the other quadrant, I'm going to use distance to go into, I'm going to use distance. I'm going to use distance first, okay? The hydrogen X to make the distance. And then I'm going to go into the correct quadrant, okay? I'm going to use hydrogen X to go into the other quadrant to make the distance. I'm going to use hydrogen X to go. How can I say it? To make a distance. To make another distance. I can't say here. If I say lined up with lined up with the correct quadrant, if that's not a distance, because then I'm still in the same way. I'm still in the same point. This is time. You can see that what you see is time. So I want to go into, so that's a distance, okay? And now I'm going to use hydrogen X to go into the other quadrant. And remember, in order to move, you have to go from one quadrant to the next, okay? I could stall, and this time I'm going to stall, okay? I'm going now, I'm in the other quadrant. I'm going to use hydrogen X to go, it's not going to move unless I use hydrogen X to make another distance, okay? So I made a distance, and now I'm going to go, I made the distance already, and now I want to go into the correct quadrant. Now, I'm going to show you something. I'm in the second quadrant, but I'm going to show you something. I could go to the in-between quadrant and then the next quadrant. So that's another thing that we could do in a dance. We could use that. I could go. Okay? Or else I could go. Okay, so you can use everything. So just learning these explanations can help you to just create more, okay? So now I'm doing that. So now we did that. Now it looks like, because this is good. I'm trying to think, because I'm not going to be able to go through the whole dance like this, but we're going to have to keep doing this. Reading, writing, understanding, and the mathematics. There's some things I didn't say because I wanted to stay on that one level as far as the hydrogen X and distance. There's another thing. First, I'm going to set, this one is going to be on We did distance. Now we're going to do, and we know the writing now. I explained it to you so where you can, I wrote it for you. When I say I wrote something for you, that means I did it. That means I wrote it. Okay, so that means you don't have to use the paper. I wrote it for you. Okay. Reading is coming later. Okay. It's gonna be when you're gonna say, "Oh wow, you did it out." You're gonna be able to say, first quadrant. He's gonna be the in between quadrant, distance. He's putting this and this. He's distance. He did the distance. He changed to the other quadrant. He's getting distance ready for his correct quadrant. He's going into the correct quadrant. Okay, so that's going to be the reading, which is going to take later on. Okay, but we have to strengthen this, and this is new. Okay, but so now I'm writing it for you. I'm writing it for you. Okay, and when I say I'm writing it in your heart. It's not on paper. You can't do a lot of these things on paper yet. Okay, but you have to write it down in your heart before you can actually do it. You'll see what that means. Now I was on hydrogen X. Now there's other things that happen. Remember when we said the speed? Now I'm going to do it. It's going to still be the hydrogen X the same way, only I'm going to show you about the speed. And with the speed, I'm going to do the slow and then the fast. Okay? With the dance. Okay, and I want to do it in smaller steps because the distance will be I'll use up all my distance. And when I say I use up all my distance, never think about the room, okay? When I say use up all my distance, don't think about the room. Think about the action of distance. This is the action of distance. You're in the quadrant, you make the distance, you bring the weight with the hydrogen X to the other quadrant. That's what you have to think about, okay? It's not, what makes the distance. So I thought about the distance and I wanted to make it shorter so that it would fit into the screen. So here I'm going. Now the speed, I'm setting the speed already. The speed is set, okay? Okay, so remember, so let's do it again. And see the speed. I've set the speed. I'm trying to speak it out. I set the speed. 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 I set the, oh no, okay, I made a mistake there. Right here, it has to go. Okay. Well, let's see if I could go right in between. Okay. Let me see. Okay, I was able to do that. That's another thing when you do it like this. You'll be able to go from one point to the next in the dance without going crazy. Just you should be able to pick up and start anywhere because there's no, we're not going to talk about mathematics yet. Oh, we spoke a little bit about the mathematics, but like when we seen the 4, and I told you I'm going to stop you saying 4. When we've seen our steps, okay, we'll because we don't use numbers or anything, we'll see where to go in and where to start again, okay? So here we go again. So now, okay. Oh, I said because I wanted to speak it out to you, okay? So. And now I did that one, and now I'm setting the speed for the next part. Okay? And even the movement right here, which we're not getting into because that's upper, and I wanna finish everything on the bottom of the quadrants first, okay? We'll go through the whole dance with the bottom of the quadrants, and then we're gonna go up. We're gonna do a little bit up, but this is the main important. So now, setting my speed, we're gonna do it one more time, okay? I got the speed, I got the speed, I got the speed, I got the speed. Okay? And so now you can see, so now we set the speed. So we have two things. We did the distance and we did the speed. Okay? Now there's another thing too. This is the math. Like I said, I'm going to try and tell you which part is math, but it's all combined together. You can pretty much pick it out as you go along. So, now the mathematics. This is something really, I have to get this thing for this. Because we're going to have to close this one pretty soon. The mathematics in this, and it looks like we're just going to finish this section and then go on because it's enough for now. Okay, so we have the mathematics. This is really the mathematics too. I told you we're not going to do the numbers too much. As far as those 4 steps that we did, okay, like I said, I'm not going to say 4 steps or the distance that we did. Okay, the distances that we did, and the distances, and when you stopped, that was the time. Okay, the distance and the times that we did, or we're gonna get something for that. Okay, I was gonna, because I make these long things down, but anyway, we'll come back to that. But what I wanted to tell you is this. Let me see if I can. Okay, because we have the distances. Okay, I was talking about the mathematics, but now we're going to get into this thing with the mathematics. Remember the audience. Oh, I wanted to say that we're not going to use numbers. It's very important that we don't use any numbers. As soon as you use a number, I'm going to tell you so that you can understand why. If you use a number is a symbol, okay? You count numbers, you do this, but we're going to use things so that if we want to put it in numbers or we want to put it in symbols, we can do it like lightning, okay? But we're going to tell you the core of where you put these numbers together. Now I'm going to use this, and I'm really going to not do it again. Maybe I'll wean you off of it, but pretty much going to force you not to use them, or wean, but I'm sure it's going to be more of a force, because force you off of the numbers, because it won't make any sense you just have to stop, okay? You have to think, you have to wean yourself off the numbers. That will help you a lot. If you weaned yourself off gravity by this point, believe me, you could wean yourself off the numbers. I'm not saying not to use numbers. You can still use numbers in the algebra and all this other stuff, but dance without music here, no numbers. Now, I told you this in the video with the about my panic attacks. This was expressed, and I told you the information is everywhere, so you gotta make sure you go through all the videos. Okay. 5. Okay, 3 and 5. And then I hope I never ever say these numbers again. Okay, even saying them. 3 is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters. Okay, just in other languages, tres, trois. Okay, all of that, we're gonna stop that. Okay, but I'm gonna use this to get you to wean yourself off the numbers, just so it'd be easy for me to explain. Right in front of you is, and I said one time, I did state one time, I don't know if it's here, but I'm saying it now. You don't know how the numbers start. You don't know if the numbers start with 1, 2, 3. Numbers can start with 3, and then 2, and then 1, and then go to 4. So this way you don't have to worry about anything, because I'm giving you the core of this mathematics, okay? So I'm going to say this is like the number 3. If you have 3, oh, and another thing too, you know about point of view. Point of view is like your point, my point of view. We're going to switch that into view of point. VOP instead of point of view. And it's going to change everything around. So instead of everything looking at you, when you say point of view, that means the view is actually looking at you, okay? And you're caught up in this view that's looking at you. It's like all the people. The people could be your point of view all around you, okay? But you're going to switch them from looking at you, and you're going to become the view of point, or view of points, okay? So that's one to get into this 3 now. So remember, now we're switching the point of view to view of point or view of points, okay? So we have 3. We're going to go in 3. There's and I remember I did mention it in my panic attacks, one of the panic attack videos in YouTube's. In 3, there's an in between. This is we call it the center, okay? So you have the center, and then you have the center or the center, anything. It could be a line, it could be a dot or whatever. The center. And remember, view a point, okay? So you view that point, okay? Because I'm looking at the camera, it's not my point of view anymore, because the camera's not looking at me. I'm switching that, and I'm making a point. A view of point. I'm viewing that point, okay? So that's in between. That's 1. And then, like I said, you can't say 1, 2, or 3. You just, first of all, have to go from your concept of it. That means if it's a center point, that means 1 here and 1 here. So there we have that. And like I said, I'm not going to say 3 anymore, but what I'm getting you to view as 3, okay? And then now, from now on, that's all I have to say, center, okay? The center. When I say center, you know you have something here and you have something there, okay? If I say other, it's this. If other center, the other of center would be this. The other, and then the correct or the right or the natural of center is this, okay? So we got that. So we have that view of points. Now we have view of points. Directly at center, we have correct, center, correct, okay? Center, correct, or center natural, or center correct, center natural, or center right, okay? And that is a mechanism. This is a mechanism, okay? This is a mechanism of your quadrants, okay? So in your quadrants, which is bringing your quadrants even to more life, in your quadrants, you have a center. And I'm not going to say the number anymore. When you have that center, you have the correct, which is, like I said, is in the mechanism of the quadrant. You have your center. You have your correct center. Center correct. Okay? When I say center, I mean those 3 points. As soon as I say center, I mean the 3 points. If I say center, other, center correct, center natural, is that, okay? And then I say center other is that. So center other, okay? So that's what you have. So I'm going to view the points as I say them. Center, sinner natural, sinner, sinner natural, sinner, sinner correct, sinner, sinner, sinner right, sinner other, sinner other, sinner, sinner other, sinner, sinner other, sinner, sinner other, sinner correct, sinner natural, other, sinner other. Okay? And the funny thing about language is if I'm saying that and then if I know that I'm in sinner, as soon as I say sinner, you know the point. You bring the points up. I could say sinner, other, correct, other, sinner, because I'm already talking about them. So that one's in. Now, and this is going to be the last point as far as the math is concerned. Believe me, it's math. Okay? But no numbers. You're the number or whatever you want to call it, but just throw the numbers away. Now we're going to go into 5, and I told you I'm not going to say that anymore. I'm just using it just so to get you where you can win yourself off of. As soon as 5, you take that 3, like I said, I'm not going to say this number, and you do 2 more. Okay? 2 more points. Okay? Okay? So you're adding 2 more points. Okay? So now you have a sinner, and then you have, remember when I said sinner? Okay, sinner other is sinner other. It's still sinner other. Okay? But then you have other. Okay? And that's other. Which means you have natural right there. Natural. So we have natural, other, natural, other. Get right here, so okay. Natural, other, natural, other. Okay? And then center right. Okay? Center right. And with this number, with this category, I'm not gonna even say number, but we're saying it this time just so that you can get it into your mind. If I say sinner, if I say sinner correct, that means there may be or there could be a correct or a natural or a right. Okay? Okay? So if I say other and then sinner other, okay? And then sinner. So sinner, other, natural, other, natural, sinner natural, sinner natural, okay, but I'm gonna use my eyes for this. I mean, I did not say eye. I'm gonna use my view of points like this. I'm gonna use my upper power. Remember, because everything is power now, and I told you about the powers. That's in the other one. All the things that we work with are called powers now. Like when we talk about hydrogen X, when we talk about weight, all those are powers. So I'm using my power here, and I'm going for the sinner other, sinner correct, sinner natural, okay, sinner other, sinner, and then other, okay. So you see, I don't have to look at it. I can use this now also, okay. It's the same thing as referring to it, okay. And another thing too, in dance about music, you should be able to see this, okay. Like right now, I can see what's happening. I can see how Hydrogen X had done this. I did this with my Hydrogen X, and then I say, natural, okay, okay, and then sinner, Center natural, center, center other. Okay, center other, other, center other, center. I mean center other, other, center other, other, center, center other. Right, that would be right there. Center, center other, 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 center natural, other, center natural. Okay, so now you got that. Okay, and we have to stop right there. Okay, the only thing I wanted to say left is that when what I wanted to say next, what I'm going to say last for this mathematics, and the reason why I used it is because we were going center. Okay, so now we can say audience. Okay, we get ready for the audience, and we're going center. So that means if we're going center, that means I'm going. And now we're going to do this with just the center. Okay. And then I'm going to, this is going to have to end it, okay? Because I want to show you what we're going to go into next, okay? So we're going to do this in small steps. So now we're doing a level of direction, should I say? A level, oh, actually this is direction, okay? And that's another point because there's two types of directions. There's a direction, internal direction, like when I go like this, I go like this. And now there's another direction, which is the distance, directing the distance. And that's what I'm gonna start, we're gonna start from there next time. Directing the distance, okay? So this is directing the distance. And then if I go other, no, and then I go from here, I'm going to do a warp. Remember the warp. I finished the walk. Let me finish the last part. So this is directing the distance. Right. From here, okay, let me just see where my weight is. Okay, right here, I could do the warp, okay? Okay, I could do the warp, and this is where we're going to start next, okay? Now, in order to do that, I'm going to say, because I could have went like this. I could have, okay. Okay, but my weight is on here, and I could have went like this, but I have to do a warp, and that's in the former ones, in the last video, in one of the last videos. But I know I have to do a transition. This is a warp transition, okay? And now, and we're speaking on this directing the distance. So we're going to do a warp, and in that warp, I have to say, and this is using what we just learned, warp natural, or warp correct, or warp right. So warp, so now I'm going to do warp right, okay? From here, I don't put this weight on here because I know it's coming. I'm going to do a warp right. Okay? So let's do it one more time. Do the last part. Okay. Okay? Do it one more time. Warp right. Okay? Okay? And you know what warp right is? warp right. And that ends it for this one. And the next one we're going to start from there. But we're going to keep going with the dance, and the explanation is going to be on reading, writing, and we just did reading, writing, mathematics, reading, writing, and math. Okay, how about if I put it this way? Understanding, reading, writing, and math without numbers and letters. Thank you very much. See you next time.